The resources basically are available with the teachers. Um, I have sent a couple of things on the group, vocabulary and things like that. I'll share them again for people who joined the group later. So these are the resources, and most of the resources are with teachers. I don't think I don't think it will be a waste of money, because just imagine you get all of the material, quick notes, revision, lectures. So you can. Now, it's not for, maybe it doesn't click for you, but many people would feel that it'll be a good opportunity for them to grab hold of these lectures, whatever subject, maybe physics, you get all the lectures, you get the notes, and you can just play them and kind of, run them through. So it's entirely up to you. I'm just telling you because it was announced in the teachers, so I thought I would let you know in case anybody is interested. I know time come hai, but actually kuch papers to thode baad mein na, so you can join for them as well, like physics and stuff. I don't know. So it's entirely up to you. अच्छा, so basically I know 10 days are left, but the thing is कि पूरे साल कहाँ थे बच्चे लोग, क्या कुछ तो पढ़ रहे थे. So it's time to consolidate, not to start preparing from the scratch, to consolidate. I understand बच्चा लोग होते हैं ऐसे, they don't study इतने ध्यान से, and then last में जाहिर है कि there is a panic, but हो जाएगा इंशाल्लाह. I don't think it's not doable. You will figure something out. Acha, I think I've started recording. Let me share my screen. We'll get to more questions later. First, let's just get to the main thing, which is basically um, the paper pattern. Pehle, let's try to understand, because I agree with many of you have commented that the pattern has changed. That is the main issue. Yes, the pattern has changed. We've been teaching something for years and years, and then the pattern changed. But khair. The thing is that it was announced quite some time back. So people who do study English from O1, O2, and then in O3 probably got quite a bit of time to understand. But even if you did not, you can still understand now. It's about language skills. Just understand the pattern and you'll figure things out. Paper 2 is the writing paper. It's a written paper. It's for 2 hours and it's 50 marks. And it's very simple, two sections, section A, section B. Section A is directed writing. You don't have a choice there. And it's for 25 marks. You get a text or two pieces of text, and you will be using those to write your directed writing text. It is a compulsory question. There is no choice. And you will basically be asked to read and then create either an email or a speech or a report, a letter or an article. So these are the text types that you should definitely be practicing. I haven't seen a report in the paper, but speech came already. Now they can repeat. There is no rule Cambridge applies कि कोई turn taking हो रही है यहाँ पे. They can very well give you the speech again. Report can be important. I can't say important, but report is something that I don't know. I feel it's very, very important to focus on, because report can be messed up easily. There are tiny things actually in the formats that you can mess up. But basically, you're preparing for everything. It's not difficult. The general style will either be discursive, argumentative, or persuasive. Okay? This is the style of writing. What is that? We'll look at that in detail very quickly. Let's move on. And it is basically 250 to 350 word limit question, which means that you cannot write more than 350. And if you're going to ask me how much more can we write, 20 words max and not more, please. Even 20 bhi zyada hai, but examiners kind of like to complete the general idea. So 20 words se zyada, please don't go overboard. In fact, try not to go overboard at all. Concession is key. Be very, very concise. Directed writing is not about stories. It's about being concise, and it's for 25 marks. 25 marks may 10 marks are for content. So you do need somewhere around 10 content points in your text, and 15 marks are for language. Language is basically vocabulary, format, and the style right, basically. Then you have section B. Section B is fun. because you have so much choice. There are 4 prompts that they're going to give you. 2 will be descriptive, 2 will be narrative, and you can choose either descriptive or narrative, and you can choose one of the narratives or one of the descriptives. So there is plenty, or there's a double choice going on. If somebody is not comfortable with descriptive at this point, don't even bother. Just focus on narrative writing. Or if you're not comfortable with narrative, don't bother. Focus on descriptive. Now, you might want to say which one is better. There is no better one and there is no worst one. It entirely depends on you. I mean, if I am doing the paper, I could do either depending on how easy or how complicated the topic is. Usually, narrative writing is like 89, 88% children will go for narrative writing, mostly if you look at the examiner's reports, because narrative writing is something that we've been doing, and it kind of story making is something that is kind of like an art, and that every kid makes up stories. You guys also make up stories in real life. So this storytelling, but it's not as simple as it sounds. It has components as well. Descriptive may, it kind of is not a story, but then it has to be a lot of tools like, show and not tell, using literary devices, using the sensory appeals and things like that. We'll have a look at that. 350 to 450 is your word limit. Acha. Important thing to remember is that the descriptive writing could be either you describing a person or a place or a situation. And it could even be an atmosphere, like describe the environment of a classroom at the time of an exam, for example. Narrative is going to be of 2 types. One will ask you to include a certain line in your story, or one could be about something. So we'll have a look at some samples later. So this is all about paper 2. Let's quickly move on to the concepts. Acha, directed writing. These are the text types. These are the writing styles. Requirements, of course, you need to read the text or 2 pieces of text. So up tak, there have been 2 pieces of text that do come up. One is usually speaking in favor of something, and one is usually speaking against it. So you read the text and then you extract your points, and then, all of that thing. So basically, let's try to understand the question. The question has 2 bullets, okay? Okay, bullet 1 is here. So the question has 2 bullet points. They ask you to evaluate in the first bullet, okay? They ask you to evaluate the points and give your opinions. Now, what is evaluation? Evaluate means you look at the points, you try to understand that are they valid? Do you feel that this point is clicking or not? And then you try to give some kind of opinion. So you mention the point from the text and then you comment on it. Your opinion needs to be there with every point. And you can also give an example if you feel that the example will help clarify the point. Okay? Then the second bullet basically requires you to give your views. एक तो होता है कि opinion, आपने point को evaluate किया, अपना opinion दे दिया कि हाँ, the point is this and I feel that it can be applicable in this situation. Second bullet is entirely about your view and you have to develop your opinion. So you read the text. Now it's your opportunity to share your view. You can add a point which basically you feel works for you more. You can elaborate that and explain that. And you're basically formulating your own opinion. You're not saying, okay, it could be this, it could be that. No. The evaluation part will include both sides, but in the second bullet, they're only asking you for your opinion. So take a very clear stance. We will look at some examples and you'll understand. Acha, let's start with the text type ke formats. Formats are very, very important. Okay? If you don't know the format, you will not be able to manage. Acha. Now they mention letter writing, they mention email writing, and 98% of the time, we are going to expect that it's going to be a formal letter or a formal email. But there is a 2% chance that they could suddenly decide, no, why not try an informal letter or email, which I highly doubt. I don't even think informal letter or email aega, but it is not excluded. So we will have a look at what it is. So simply an informal letter or an informal email are letters or emails written to people you know. You know, they're written to people who you are very familiar with, and they're written to people, either your friends, your family, or someone you are on a very comfortable relationship with. Not like your teacher or your principal or your boss. No, that is a formal relationship and that requires a formal letter or a formal email. There are a couple of differences. Basically, the kind of approach that you take will be slightly informal, but in no way are you allowed to use slang or abbreviations or any other kind of chat language, riz and lit and things like that. No. Yes, they are English, they are words from English, but we are not going to use them. Cambridge will not be impressed. Okay, Cambridge is just likes their regular standard English to be used. Yes, the style can show that this is informal. Like instead of omitting a greeting, you can say, good to hear from you, something that you would say in an informal situation. Okay, but it doesn't mean that you start becoming too informal. That would lead to slang. So the introductory paragraph, of course, will have a kind of a greeting on your side, and also it will mention why the letter or email is being written. Zahira, you have to mention the reason for writing the letter or email, and the reason, of course, will be mentioned in the question. And then the body paragraphs, of course, are going to be developed according to the requirement of the question. And do make sure that when you are signing off your letter or email, again, you show an informal relationship. Rather than saying regards, you can say hope to see you soon, best wishes, love, something like that. Accuracy of English will remain absolutely vital. And letters and emails will begin with dear and whoever you're writing to, and they will end with a kind of an informal closing. Now, this is the main thing that I wanted to come to, because I don't think that they are going to be exploring anything informal. So now, the most important thing, a formal letter or email. And letters are basically written to, maybe you've been asked to write a letter to the teacher, or it could be to the editor of a certain newspaper, perhaps, or a magazine. And you will be asked to, of course, evaluate and then share your opinion. Now, in a formal letter or email, you should always include a date. You should mention the subject. You should mention a very correct salutation like dear sir or madam, or let's say you know the name. So you'll say Mr. Simon or whatever the name is. If you don't want to add a name, you can say dear sir or madam. Now, do understand that if you mention a name, the closing of the letter or email will be yours sincerely. If you don't mention a name and you just write dear sir or madam, the closing will be yours faithfully. Or if you're writing dear editor, yours faithfully will be the closing. So these are a couple of things that you need to understand, and that's one mark either gained or either lost. So make sure you're particular with that. So, and I've written it here as well, that if you don't know the name of the person, it's yours faithfully. If you know the name, it's yours sincerely. And when you start your introductory paragraph, you will mention why you're writing the letter. So you'll say, I'm writing this letter because, and then you'll mention the purpose of writing the letter. Then you'll introduce the topic and explain that a little bit. And then you will have a thesis statement going on that will be neutral. That will basically mean that, you're evaluating something and you're looking at both sides, pros and cons. Then you move to your body paragraphs. Now, make sure that you don't, when you're writing your body paragraphs, you don't add too many arguments in one paragraph. Make sure that you focus on one argument or one point. You give your opinion, elaborate the point with an example, and you explain that. Now, avoid colloquialism. Colloquialism basically means जो एक हमारी pet terminologies होती हैं या जो slangish kind of, एक local जो हम words use करते हैं, we try to avoid that in formal letters and emails. We will use a variety of sentence structures, complex, compound, all of these. Use the block format. Block format क्या होता है कि आपने indent नहीं करना. Don't leave any space. Write straight from the margin and leave a line after every paragraph. These are some very, very important things to remember. It can only be done very briefly because we have limited time. I'm moving on to the speech. When you're talking about the speech, a speech is the only text type which is basically conversational. It is being delivered as we write it. Ji Aditi.
Could I please know that if in a formal letter, how do you sign off? Like, do you write your name or not?
Yes, you write. If you wrote the name in Dear Mr. Ahmed, then you'll write yours sincerely and your full name. Okay, your full name will come right at the end.
Okay,
Or
thank
if
you.
you wrote Dear Sir or Madam, yours faithfully and your full name at the end. Okay. So the speech is basically a very conversational kind of text. So it has to sound like a conversation. It can't be stiff. You're not reading the news. You are speaking, you are delivering this, and you need to make it very flexible. And there are certain tools that you're going to be using for speech writing. You're going to address the audience directly. What do you think? You means that you're addressing the audience, and you are going to use a lot of us and we and our to include the audience. You are going to basically use repetition, questions. At least 3 questions should be there in your speech. Speech writing basically does involve questions because a question is a way to prompt the audience. So during your speech, 3 questions should be there, addressing, being you basically you're addressing the audience. You should also repeat certain important ideas. You can use the list of three. The list of three basically means that you're listing different things that, you should believe in yourself, um, take good care of yourself or whatever. When you're making a list of things, that's very important because you're addressing people. Use contractions because it is a conversation and the different things will be contracted. Start your speech in a proper manner. I'll show you basically how. And make sure that you connect with your audience. And you can also use a couple of other things. You can use contrasting points, you can use humor, you can make it funny, you can make it anecdotal, you can narrate a short personal story in the speech. So just make it sound as if it's actually being delivered rather than somebody reading your speech. And make sure that you also use some emotive language. Emotive language क्या है? Emotional कर देना सामने वाले को so that they agree, they listen. How would you feel? And words that create sentiments. This is basically emotive language. And how do you start your speech? You always start with an address. Address means you address the audience. So, honorable principal, starting with the most important person, respected teachers, and my dear fellow students. And then you greet them. Good morning, or whatever time of the day it might be mentioned. You can make it up if not mentioned. Then you'll mention that my name is so and so, and I'm a student of class this, section this. And you should mention some kind of designation that you hold at school. Just write your head girl or head boy. That's it. And then you'll mention the purpose of the speech. And I'm right. Today, I'm here to deliver this speech on, or I'm here to talk to you about, or I'm here to create awareness about. And that's going to be your opening paragraph. And then, of course, you have your body paragraphs, which you'll be writing according to the structure mentioned. And the ending paragraph, basically, you are going to share your opinion at the end and thank your audience. So this is basically the structure of the speech, and these are the conventions, the language conventions for speech writing. Then for the article, you need to understand that it could be for a magazine or a newspaper article, and you always need a very snappy heading. A snappy heading means something catchy, something that people would immediately be attracted to. And you can make it very simple. Don't write a heading for more than 6 words. 6 words should be enough in a heading. And then, of course, again, in an article, you can't be very formal. It has to be semi-formal, where you're going to mix things up. So make it lighthearted, make it interesting, make it in a way that, people are interested. Yes, Shifa.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask that can we involve a question in our heading or the topic or whatever we're talking about?
You can, but
Like,
don't
can
copy.
it be a question?
It can, acha, 100%. The heading can be a question. The heading can be a question. The heading can be a phrase. Don't make it a sentence, a huge one, but yes, it can definitely be a question. That's perfectly fine. Acha, the article again will begin with an interesting statement. Don't write, I am writing this article to. No, that's obsolete. You don't start your article like that. You will start your article with something very catchy. जैसे heading आपने catchy बनाई है, इसी तरह the first sentence of your introduction should be catchy. It should grasp people's interest. It should get them to read what you have to say. And then, of course, you'll introduce the topic. Then you'll make a statement that, there are both sides because you're evaluating. Every question will require evaluation. So don't start taking sides. Make sure that you specify that it is an evaluation. Then we come to the report. Reports could be of school report, newspaper report. Acha, reports are also semi-formal. They don't have to be strictly formal. And for a school report, you are going to write in the third person because you're talking about something that has happened. So usually the past tense will be used, and you're going to start with a heading to the head principal. Then you will write a subject, report on, and then whatever the subject is. And then you will begin your introductory paragraph, and you'll start with, I am writing this report to discuss, and whatever the topic is. And in the end, you will have a concluding line. I hope you will find my report informative and useful. Simple. To the head teacher, principal, whatever is specified in the question, leave a line, report on whatever the topic is, and then you move to your introductory paragraph. Acha, newspaper reports, I don't think they're going to give you a newspaper report. Cambridge is not too keen on newspaper reports. Even for the Purana syllabus, newspaper reports were not a common choice for examiners because they just find school reports more practical. But let's say you never know Cambridge, it's very unpredictable. So a newspaper report is also going to be semi-formal. The difference is that the newspaper report is meant for a larger audience. Okay. So you will not address anybody. You're not writing to because it's for a large number of people. So rather than that, you can give a heading to your report, and then you can write a short paragraph mentioning the 5 W's and H. Who's involved in the report? What is the report about? When did it take place? Where did it take place? Why did it take place? So let's say you're writing a newspaper report about an art exhibition that took place. So you'll mention that, an art exhibition took place. Who? So the art exhibition was organized by the Arts Council, and the general public were invited. What happened in it? Different pieces of art by students of Art Council were displayed. When did it happen? It took place on the evening of 15th February 2025, and it took place at the PAF Museum. It was why it was an opportunity for students to express their talents. ये आपका आ गया first paragraph. It's also called a lead. This paragraph is called the lead and it's kind of like a summary of the whole report. आपकी पूरी report की एक summary आ जाती है. Then you begin talking about the individual elements in detail. But this is not going to come. The reason is that the kind of pattern that the question has, the news report doesn't really fit in that pattern. I'm just telling you for general information, okay? Because Cambridge is unpredictable, but it's going to be, if it's a report, it will be a school report. Trust me on that. Acha, then we move on. Acha, this is very, 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 very important. Now, in your exam, in the directed writing question, they have specified 3 writing styles. So they can ask you to write a persuasive speech, they can ask you to write argumentatively, or they can ask you to write discursively. Now, what are these styles? If you're asked to write in a persuasive manner, you're simply trying to convince your audience that your point of view is valid. And you're also encouraging them to join. And you will be writing, persuasive writing is done usually in the first person because you are trying to convince by giving your perspective. And you use a lot of nouns that include the audience, like we and us, trying to get them involved. You're not going to be aggressive, it's not a fight, but it's a very polite attempt to get people to understand your points. However, whenever you're giving points to persuade people, you always show them the other side of the picture as well. Okay, you show them your points, then you show them the other side of the picture as well. But in the conclusion, of course, you will pick a side. And even in the introduction, you can mention that your point of view is this. It's a little like argumentative writing, but argumentative writing is slightly more aggressive. And you do show the other side of the picture, but in argumentative writing, when you are showing the other side of the picture, you refute it. You immediately provide a rebuttal. You say that, you basically, so you make a point, you say that, however, one school of thought is this, but this is my point of view. So you come back to your point of view. This is called a rebuttal. This is called a refutation. Okay, somebody is asking me to add them to the group. Acha. And this is discursive writing. Give me a minute, let me add them. Okay. So discursive writing is when you're balancing. Whenever you're balancing, it means that you don't have a side. You're trying to tell people that there are 2 sides of something and that you are not biased. And you discuss both sides equally. And you present a very balanced and an impartial view. And when you're exploring the perspectives, make sure that you give equal points in favor and equal points against, and avoid sounding biased. But in the conclusion of the discursive writing, you will very politely say that, as a result of the evaluation, I personally now believe that. So that it shows a result of the discussion going into favor of a certain point. So that's discussion. And whenever you're writing these directed writing texts, make sure that you're using plenty of transition words. However, meanwhile, in addition, except for speech writing, because when you're talking, I'm not going to keep on saying, okay, in addition, furthermore, I might do, but I won't usually. It has to sound like a conversation. Acha. Now, let me guide you. Okay? Let me take you through a topic so that you know exactly what needs to be done. This is guided persuasive writing. So let's say you get a topic and you're asked to write it in a persuasive way. College students should be allowed to use their smartphones during lectures. Now, because it's persuasive, I need to make a statement that explains that I am trying to persuade my audience to do that because it's persuasive. Persuasive writing होती ही क्या है, सामने वाले को मना लेना. College students should be allowed to use their smartphones during lectures because it enhances their learning experiences, so and so. So I'm trying to persuade. Now, you start with a hook. The hook, what is the hook? A hook is something interesting. A hook can be a question. And if you're very smart, I'm not, I can't remember facts and figures. You can start with a fact and figure or a quotation. I can never for the life of it do that, but I do like to start with a question or a statement because I'm not one to memorize quotations and things like that. I mean, it's brilliant if you can. I just can't, so I don't use it. I would use a statement like this one, or I would use a question. And then you have your main point. Like for example, for this topic, if my first point is enhanced learning experience, this is how I explain it. I elaborate the point, I give examples, then I make my second point, I make my third point, and then I provide kind of like the other side. Now I'm calling it a counter argument or refutation, but it's actually the other side. I'm trying to show you that this is the other side. This is what is happening basically. And when I'm doing that, I should include at least 2 points. If I'm adding 3 points to support or persuade you, I should add 2 points to show the other side or the disadvantage. For example, if I'm showing you advantages, then I should show you 2 disadvantages as well. And I should then immediately do mention that, these are the points for this particular side, but still, because it's persuasive, you will again convince them to believe you. And then the conclusion will have a restatement of the thesis. You can quickly summarize the points, and you are going to just end with a call for action is basically, getting your audience to join your opinion, or maybe you can ask them a question at the end. So this is basically a general way in which persuasive writing is done. Let's say they give you an argumentative topic and how do you identify an argumentative topic? It's usually a question which puts you at, do you agree or disagree? That immediately tells you that this is an argument. And naturally, when you're arguing, you pick a side. When you pick a side, you develop your thesis statement accordingly. Write your thesis statement. I strongly agree or disagree is a standard phrase, and then you can write your whatever the topic is. And then you can write a hook. So when you decide your thesis statement, then you move on to the first paragraph, you write your hook, you introduce the topic briefly, then you mention the thesis statement, and then you come to your body paragraph. 3 paragraphs should be for the main points, and then you should have 2 points for the counter argument. Now, it sounds very similar to persuasive. The only difference is that the slight style is aggressive. I strongly agree or disagree. In persuasive writing, you just mention it. You don't mention it aggressively. Okay? It has to be polite. And then discursive writing is the most likely style that will come. So I suggest you focus more on discursive writing. Discursive writing simply means that the essay will be about advantages and disadvantages. अभी तक जितने भी past papers हैं, जो specimen है, it focuses on discursive writing. So discursive writing, it's the easiest as well. Discursive writing में क्या है? 2 text आएंगे. एक टेक्स्ट में फेवर में बात हो रही होगी, एक टेक्स्ट में अगेंस्ट में. सिंपल. You extract the points from text A, favor wale, you extract the points from text B, against wale. You follow the format, जो भी आपको उन्होंने कहा है. You start your introductory paragraph, mention a hook, हुक तो आपको हर तरह के ऐसे में लिखना है, ठीक है, या टेक्स्ट में. हुक, you introduce the topic, you explain it, and then you mention that, there are the essay. You don't have to write the essay will discuss. This is just a kind to get you the idea. So you can say something like that, that there are two schools of thought about smartphones and college students. We will elaborate or discuss both. You can even say that, or you can just miss out the we will elaborate part. Then you will come to your body paragraph, and in your body paragraph, you will make the points about the advantages. You can write down 2 points if you want to, 2 to 3, and then equal number of disadvantages. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपने advantages 2 लिख दिए, disadvantages 3. A discursive essay means, a discursive style means that there has to be a balance in perspective. When you do that, you come to the conclusion, and in the conclusion, you will offer your final verdict. It means that, you will mention that, there are both schools of thought. I believe in this school of thought. That's it. And then you can add, a question to end it or something of that sort. So that's the style. Acha, ab how will you incorporate these things in different text types? It's given here. Like if it's an article and you're writing an argumentative article, this is how you should do it. You can click pictures of this.
Ma'am, can you just send the PDF later?
Actually, it's my whole booklet and I don't really share it with students. I'll try. I can send you the individual pages. The whole booklet will not be possible. It will be given to students who are in my class already studying with me for the whole year, because it will be an unfair thing if I don't give it to them. But with other people, I don't want to disadvantage you, so I will send you these things separately. ठीक है, but someone will remind me if I forget by tomorrow. वैसे कल we already have a class 8 to 9. I will send all of these things in different forms. ठीक है, the whole booklet नहीं. These will be sent to you in chunks. ठीक है, so you can have a look at it later. I'll send it to you. Don't worry. अभी हम सारे अभी नहीं कर सकते. We don't have time. You will have to look at them when I send you the resource. So I'll send you the resource, and I've done this for every text type. ठीक है, एवरी टेक्स्ट टाइप. किसी को कोई मुश्किल नहीं होनी चाहिए, इसको सिर्फ आपने पढ़ना है एंड ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड. अच्छा, अब जल्दी से हम आ जाते हैं नैरेटिव राइटिंग की तरफ. नैरेटिव राइटिंग बेसिकली, अच्छा, narrative will take a lot of time, so I think I'll pass it on for tomorrow. What I did want to show you today was a sample. Actually, ये vocabulary है which I've already sent. Let me share with you some samples. Because कोई कल पूछ भी रहा था ना कि sample. अच्छा, इसमें practice questions भी हैं which you can. अच्छा, ये देखो samples. अब जैसे आपका ये सवाल है ना. अच्छा, wait. This is what the question looks like, by the way. You probably already know that. Let me show you a sample. So इसमें जो task दिए हुए हैं basically, they can be practiced as well. They're not from the past papers. I've made them up. क्योंकि past papers तो आपके पास already हैं. You can look at them. This is all the vocabulary that you should be studying. I'm interested in showing you the samples today. Narrative and descriptive हो नहीं पाएगा आज. There's no point. I'll do it tomorrow because there's just no time. अच्छा, samples देख लो थोड़े से to understand. अब see, this is a sample answer of a report. So this is how you will write to the principal report on. This is going to be your introduction. And this is how your body paragraphs are. And all of the information that you use will always be picked up from the text. Similarly, you see, these samples are very important to look at. Acha. Email, you start with a subject, dear whoever you're writing to. It's a formal email, by the way. And This is how you can end it. Letter. Letter has I. You see a lot of I being used because the letter is written by you. Your personal opinion is there. And this is a persuasive letter. Article. You see a very short, catchy, crisp heading. And then a statement. This is a hook. As young students, we are constantly surrounded by technology. From smartphones to so. So it's a big hook, but it makes sense. And then there's a question accompanying it. You see, transition words are used throughout. And there's always a conclusion at the end. And if you look at the speech, you'll see that the format is followed. You see, I, you, us. And you thank your audience at the end. And then there are also samples for descriptive and narrative. Acha. Now there are lots of questions, which 53 new messages. Okay, I will. Acha, no, I don't recommend too many transition words for speech writing. Yes, use a few of them, Dua, but you don't overdo it. वरना वो एक formal सा stiff सा बन जाएगा ना, तो वो फिर speech नहीं लगेगा. हमें examiner को ये दिखाना है कि हमें speech पता है, कि speech में इतनी formality नहीं होती कि however, furthermore, in addition, अब मैं इस तरह speech देने लगी, तो do you think people will listen to me? ठीक है, तो हम उसको stiff ना करने के लिए भी avoid it. ठीक है, अच्छा, और much love. Yes, it is acceptable. Evaluation का मतलब होता है to explore both sides of something. ठीक है? In case you are confused. Evaluation का मतलब directed writing में जब evaluation लिखते हैं तो वो ये पूछ रहे हैं आपसे कि भाई दोनों को consider करो, both sides of the picture, positives and negatives. Yours faithfully, yours sincerely के नीचे आपका नाम आ जाएगा. For paragraph formatting basically कुछ नहीं है. You start with जिसको हम कहते हैं अरीशा 1 minute में अपनी बात खत्म करके फिर मैं आपसे पूछती हूँ. So you basically start with a जिसको हम कहते हैं ना कि you have a topic sentence जिसे हम कहते हैं, जिससे ये पता चलेगा कि आपका पैराग्राफ किस बारे में. So you make your point, you explain it by adding your opinion about it, and then you can give an example to elaborate that. ठीक है? अच्छा, yes, Arisha, you had your hand raised.
Yeah, so like in speech, you mentioned that we should mention our designation, for instance, a head boy. So
Yes.
are we
Yes.
given that or we should just make it up?
Oh, just make it up. You can be head girl, head boy, you can be anything in your exam question, जो भी आप answer लिख रहे हैं. Make it up but write it. ठीक है? आप हो या नहीं हो, जाहिर है हर एक तो head boy, head girl नहीं होगा. Or you can write president of the IT club, a president of the peer tutoring society, something of that sort. ठीक है? But something to show that you're important. That's why you're here. अच्छा. You aren't supposed to write your real name. No, you can write your real name, but you don't have to. Make it up. You don't have to write your real name. Yes, Laiba. Ji, Laiba, you have your hand up? Okay, Arisha, do you have your hand up again or ye purana wala hand up hai?
This is again, I have another question.
Go on, please ask, please. I just wanted to.
So some teachers say that in a newspaper article, we aren't supposed to give subheadings, but in the magazine article, we should give subheadings. Is that
Yes.
true?
You can give headings in both, to be very honest. Now, teachers, yes, they have different schools of thought, but when I was discussing this with, Susan is one of the examiners from Cambridge who came in a couple of months back, and we had this discussion on the same thing. So she said that Cambridge doesn't mind. It doesn't matter. You can give headings for either. आपकी मर्जी है. Some people don't want to give headings. That's fine too. I personally like to give headings. I just feel it looks more neat. So it's entirely up to you. Can we use क्या है? एक minute. Fillers in a formal speech. I don't think you will need to, but you can. You can. Acha, speeches, the kind of speech you will be getting will not be entirely formal. It will not be entirely informal. So it's up to you if you want to. Acha, ellipses, I feel you can occasionally, but again, don't overdo it. ठीक है? एक कात आप बिल्कुल use कर लें. That's fine. Yes, you can write that. Thank you all for the positive response, but उसको थोड़ा formally लिखना, इतना informally नहीं. What's the difference between a magazine article and a newspaper article? Nothing really. कुछ ऐसा खास difference नहीं है. In real life, it's the pictures. But for your exam point of view, no difference really. It's pretty much the same. Yes, in the newspaper report, it's like you are reporting. But ये आएगा नहीं, I'm telling you. Newspaper report नहीं आएगा. अच्छा. The bullet points of the report. Which one? Amina, can you message again? I will share the resources in a bit as well. Yes, Aditi, you have a confusion, you have a question? Then
Yes, could you please tell me, like if we don't write a subheading, would that be a problem or not?
No, it won't be a problem at all. It's up to you. Cambridge doesn't mind. They're concerned with the text. They don't mind headings ho ya nahi ho, आपका text सही होना चाहिए.
But
अच्छा,
are
and then-
headings appreciated?
Yeah, I mean, they're very neutral about it, to be very honest. Headings just make it look neater and kind of like organized, easier to read, but Cambridge is not biased about headings. या नहीं हो. So I feel if you are comfortable with it, do it. If you're not, you don't have to go through that trouble. Okay? Acha, and then somebody has asked, how do we know if we are supposed to discuss, persuade, or argue? Okay, so the question will mention, the question will indicate. आपको सवाल पढ़ के पता चल जाएगा. Can I ask them to add opinions to engage them? Yes, you can, definitely. In persuasive writing, formats will be shared. Your final opinion is going to be there in the conclusion for every kind of writing, especially discursive में, क्योंकि आपका opinion शुरू से होता ही नहीं है. It's two sides of the picture, but then in the end, in the conclusion, yes, give your opinion. So discursive style is pretty simple. Discursive में आपने equal advantages, equal disadvantages, neutral thesis statement in the introduction, and then in the conclusion, you have to give your opinion. Acha. A public group for everyone. Yeah, there is a workshop ka group which I've been using for the resources and everything. Ji Laiba.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Laiba.
Ma'am, can you explain evaluation again and with an example?
It's okay. अब जैसे आपको उन्होंने दो text दिए, ठीक है? The first text is about the advantages of social media, and the second text is about the disadvantages of social media. Now, the first bullet will always ask you to evaluate the point in both texts. So, evaluate the point means कि if I'm making my list of advantages, for every advantage, अब जैसे advantage है कि you'll stay connected with the world. So, I'll write the point in my own words, of course, and then I will add my opinion about it. So I'll say कि yes, in a way, you'll definitely remain connected with the world. This is called evaluation. Evaluate क्या होता है कि जब हम किसी चीज को लिखते हैं जो बोली गई है, फिर उस पे अपनी राय भी दे देते हैं. वो evaluate कर रहे हैं आप point को. ठीक है? That's evaluation. Yes, someone else has their hand up. Aditi?
Yes, the workshops will end tomorrow, but the people who have paid, they have classes like regularly, right?
Of course you do. Of course, Aditi, 100%. And all of the queries that you have, you're going to carry them forward in our classes, Aditi.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Acha. Do we mention, acha, you don't have to mention ke it in passage A, it says this, in passage B. Some people do, but to be honest, examiners don't want that. Examiners just want you to focus on the advantages and disadvantages rather than worrying about ke passage A mein kya likha tha and passage B mein. Don't write from passage A. Yeah, I mean, even if you join in the last couple of days or the month, you will get some kind of help. No help is better than some help. Or वैसे भी the lectures are also there. तो आप class के अलावा भी the teacher is available for your communication, and you can also get the lessons, your lectures, your notes, other चीजें जो भी class में practice होती हैं. Lots of practice material. I will send the things again. Yes, I will. Yes, samples will be shared. No, you don't have to write to and from in the email. There's just not enough words. Don't waste your time doing that. You don't have to. आपको formats में भेज दूंगी. Yes, guide इसकी भी persuasive, argumentative also. अच्छा. Please explain development. Development क्या? मार्किंग ऑफ चैट, मार्किंग की रिलायबिलिटी पे नहीं जाना चैट जीपीटी की, बट यस वो आपको कम से कम स्पेलिंग्स और ग्रामेटिकल एरर्स बता सकता है. अब वो मार्क्स आपको जो दे रहा है जरूरी नहीं है कि कैम्ब्रिज का एग्जामिनर वो मार्क्स देगा. ठीक है, चैट जीपीटी पे इतना भरोसा नहीं करो. हाँ, ग्रामेटिकली वो आपको करेक्ट कर देगा. डेवलपमेंट ऑफ अ पॉइंट इन समरी राइटिंग. देखो, समरी राइटिंग में पॉइंट डेवलप करना ही नहीं है. समरी राइटिंग में क्या होता है कि आपने पॉइंट को अपने वर्ड्स में लिखना है, बस दैट्स इट. यू डोंट हैव टू डेवलप इट. पॉइंट्स को सिर्फ अपने वर्ड्स में इन अ कंटिन्यूअस फॉर्म आपको लिखना होता है. यस, यू कैन लर्न idioms एंड ड्रामेटिक फ्रेजेस फ्रॉम चैट जीपीटी, लेकिन जरूरत क्या है? मैंने ऑलरेडी आपको सारे वोकैबुलरी की जो लिस्ट भेजी है उसमें फिगरेटिव लैंग्वेज भी है, बस वो यूज कर लो. चैट जीपीटी की झंझट में पड़ो ही नहीं. अच्छा देखो, हर टीचर का अपना तरीका होता है. मैं आपको सीधा सा बता दूं कि जो फॉर्मेट्स मैं आपको दे रही हूँ दे वेरी रिलायबल बिकॉज दे हैव कम डायरेक्टली फ्रॉम द कैम्ब्रिज एग्जामिनर्स जो ट्रेनिंग के लिए आते हैं. ठीक है, सो दे आर रिलायबल. और कैम्ब्रिज ये कहीं नहीं कहा है कि यही फॉर्मेट दुनिया का आखिरी फॉर्मेट है. इट्स नॉट अ पुरानिक वर्स. ओके, इट कैन बी चेंज. तो थोड़ा बहुत टीचर्स आगे पीछे करते हैं फॉर्मेट, इट्स फाइन. ठीक है, as long as it makes sense. देखो, at this point I think narrative might be more easier for you, Namra, because narrative में इतना ज्यादा sensory appeal नहीं ऐड करनी, थोड़ी बहुत करनी है. कल की क्लास basically will be based on descriptive and narrative. उसमें फिर थोड़ा सा हम और इसे elaborate कर लेंगे. अच्छा, you follow the sequence please. Don't start writing section B पहले. Examiners को बहुत बुरा लगता है ये. Start with section A. अच्छा, if you have 9 to 10 tomorrow. Tomorrow's class is 9 to 10. ताहा, आपने क्या पूछा है बेटे? पहले मैंने मिस कर दिया है कुछ. अच्छा ताहा, you can ask again. I think I might have missed your message. ये क्या है? Are the text of both advantages and disadvantages? Yes, both of they need evaluation. Yes, exactly. Yes, you're right. That's exactly what you need to do. अच्छा, in pencil देखो, I write with a lot of speed. ठीक है, I'm a very quick writer. That's just me. So I used to as a student always write with a pencil, और फिर I used to ink it. But अगर आपकी इतनी स्पीड है, otherwise don't risk it, please don't risk it. वो पेंसिल वाला नहीं चेक करते. ठीक है. मामा आपने क्या पूछा था बेटे? Can you ask again? इतने सारे है ना चीजें they're missing. अच्छा, if you have questions, अच्छा भाई, please give the feedback for the workshop as well on the group, because you know the admin was asking me कि आपके बच्चों ने शायद उन्होंने सुना नहीं क्या हुआ. So please give feedback on the group. And if you give good feedback, we will try to add a couple of more free classes for everyone because that's what the admin will look at. So feedback de do wahan pe, please. Can we write all the points in text on a? Yes, you can. They can be one text, बिल्कुल, क्योंकि इस syllabus में जो guide book है, teachers को जो guidance दी जाती है, they tell us it could be 1 or 2 texts. It depends. Directed writing, I don't know. I have a feeling about a report, but you never know with Cambridge. Acha, can you please add me? Aditi, can you please, if you're here, can you please add this number? Can you please send this number to me?
Yes, I'll.
Thanks. 0333 वाला जो है. Acha, and you guys have my number, right? If you, acha, अब I'm going to end it here, but let me leave my number. अगर किसी के पास नहीं है अभी भी, तो कोई ऐसा सवाल हो जो बहुत अर्जेंट हो, you can ask me on that. ठीक है? So I'm sharing the number again. ठीक है? अच्छा, उमैमा आपने क्या कहा है? Average marks in P1 at least 38, 39. ठीक है? Development in question 1. Development of the points you're saying. It means that you have to mention the point in your own words and then you have to comment on the point. उसको या तो आप negate कर दो कि इसके अलावा भी ये हो सकता है, ये नहीं है, या उसे फेवर कर लो. ठीक है? Thank you, Aditi. I got it. ठीक है? That is the development part. Oh, Mama, if you join tomorrow, we can discuss it in detail tomorrow. ठीक है? देखो, एक तो कल है शानजे, ठीक है? But do provide a lot of feedback on the workshop. जितना feedback आएगा, the management will agree for perhaps 1 or 2 more sessions. ठीक है? अच्छा, I am ending it here because somebody else has they booked होती है ना classes. अच्छा, ठीक है, let's quickly take Manahil's question and then Shehek's.
A lot of teachers say that we've got to order the paragraphs in terms of text. Like we've got to make a paragraph in which we write all the points from text A, and then a paragraph where we write all the points from text B. And then there are some teachers who say that we've got to order the paragraph by points. Like choose some main content points, and then develop each of them in the paragraph. And then while developing those points or evaluating those points, we pick smaller content points from both texts. Which way
Both
do you think
methods
we
are
should follow?
correct. Both methods are correct. Whatever works for you. Both of the schools of thought are fine. आप किसी भी तरह से कर सकते हो, either way. अच्छा, एक और तरीका भी है. एक और तरीका क्या है कि एक एडवांटेज उस पे आपने अपना कमेंट किया, फिर एक डिसएडवांटेज उसी पैराग्राफ में. तो एक पैराग्राफ में एक एडवांटेज, एक डिसएडवांटेजेस, आपके कमेंट्स. This is another way of doing it. So whatever works for you, आप वो कर लें. As long as the points are there, you're safe. ठीक है? अच्छा, Shehek, the last question I'm taking is Shehek's. जी बेटे.
Miss, could you send us the article? This one.
ठीक है, श्योर आई विल. अच्छा, मैं कुछ
Okay.
चीजें शेयर करूंगी कल की क्लास से पहले कर दूंगी, और बाकी अगर मैं कुछ भूल जाऊं तो जस्ट सेंड मी अ मैसेज ऑन द ग्रुप एज वेल, तो आई विल रिमेम्बर. ठीक है? अच्छा, अभी आई एम एंडिंग इट. बाकी चीजें इंशाल्लाह टुमारो. ओके गाइस, टेक केयर.